currently facing journalists, especially in this region, are threats and harassment, especially online, physical threats to some extent, like threats of abduction, bodily harm. But mostly what we're seeing right now is that journalists are being threatened through their families. It's as if those who are targeting journalists have found another way to exploit the vulnerability of journalists. So they try to intimidate family members, asking about the whereabouts of the journalists, asking about the stories that they're working on, and then they will do this for a couple of days running. So the relatives and the children, for instance, or wife or husband of the journalist will feel very, very intimidated. So the journalist is not just thinking about his own personal safety, but the safety also of his family. The first step really is to increase awareness about the risk that journalists face. So you'd be able to come up with actions to lessen the risk that you're facing. And then try to lessen the vulnerabilities by increasing your capacities. Meaning, if you haven't had safety training before, try to enroll in one. Organizations like mine provide free training for journalists who are in need, especially those working in provinces or outside Metro Manila, or even in the region. If someone is willing to pay for my transportation, and that's it. I'm willing to provide that kind of training because the problem is so huge and the problem has become so insidious that it's really affecting the very core of the practice of journalism. 10 years ago, we didn't have much in terms of online threats, in terms of online bashing, in terms of trolling. But, well, if I will speak about the Philippines, we have had a lot of experience in journalists being killed. And that's very, very terrible. Since democracy was restored in 1986, we had almost 200 journalists killed. And that's a very, very high number. But under this administration, journalists aren't just being killed. I think there are 12 ever since the new president came into power. There were 12 who have been killed, but many other journalists, some are unreported, who have been harassed online, who have been threatened online. Two people, I can't name them. One is still under threat. The other one, he is now staying in Germany at an undisclosed location. After our training on hostile environment, he sent me a message, maybe 2 or 3 months after the training, and he said, I survived a bombing incident, mainly because of the training that we did. And then I was able to save also a colleague because I told him this is what we're going to do when we're covering a bombing incident. Because we're talking about when do you go near the blast site, is it immediately after, or do you wait for some more time before you come in, because there could be a secondary or another blast that's going to happen. So that's one. The other one is a Filipino. He's under threat by some local politicians, and he said what saved him was he didn't go with several other reporters who were going to interview that local politician because he could sense that he was setting up some sort of a trap. So knowing the environment, knowing the people that you are going to talk with, knowing the local situation, the context, the political situation, and the dynamics will help you a lot.